WASUTA, of all of the kawaii kind of idol groups, I think it's fair to say, WASUTA always come up like number one for me because there's something about them which is like, it's more than just kind of like the Japanese pop stereotypes. Yes, I know they dress up as kitties with their kitty ears, and yes, I know it's all cute and pink and everything, but at the heart, I think they got some great songs, and also, more than anything, vocally, they are so strong. All four of them have quite unique and different voices, but when they come together, the voices, they just sound so great. And, they sound like more than the sum of their parts. I just think that vocally they're incredibly talented. And I think this is another reason why you get to see so many live videos put out by them, because the live videos just highlight how talented they actually are. So this is a group who I come back to partly because I find their music very joyous, and partly because I just have a lot of respect for their talent. And on top of that as well, I've got to be honest, if I'm going to be checking out like an idol group, I prefer the groups where you kind of get to know the members and you know their qualities, rather than the ones where there's 10,000 of them and they get replaced regularly. Anyway, here we go. This is the new WASUTA song. I've really enjoyed this group over the last couple of years since I got to know them. And this new song is called Summer Love Dilemma. 26,000 views. They always deserve more views than they get. But let's check it out. Summer Love Dilemma by the wonderful WASUTA. I hope I'm still saying that at the end. Oh, cute. Oh yeah, I was wondering where the kitty ears had gone. They've returned. For some of the scenes. What? I love how the song, the mix is very light and gentle, but there's a lot of nice little details. That's such an old school key change style chorus for a J-pop song. Yeah, the focus on melody always feels so genuine because their voices sound so unique from each other. The mix is so bright and so colourful. It's a very pop mix, but I love the sound. You've got the strings, you've got the guitars, you've got the keyboard brass, you've got all of that happening at the same time. Nice active drum line. And yet it all sounds so distinct and bright and colourful and well mixed. The structure is so predictable if you know those kind of like old school J-pop songs, and yet it works so well. Can't help it. I'm loving that piano. There was a bit of piano throughout the arrangement, and I wanted more. And ending with the piano. There's that old stereotype that like every like J-pop song has a guitar solo in it, but the truth is that there's a lot of the best ones have piano in it as well. And it reminds me a little bit, that style of piano playing actually reminds me a little bit of a few different things, but like obviously my love for WASUTA comes through a little bit there. I'm imagining sort of like some of WASUTA's little piano bits she would throw into her songs, obviously as a pianist. But yeah, no, that was see, this is one of those examples of a song that does something where if you know what you're getting when you walk into it, I can't imagine that you wouldn't love it. It's not going to be for everyone, but if you know how those sort of old school J-pop songs work, this is very reminiscent of J-pop songs going all the way back to the 90s and everything. All the way back to the 90s. I can't believe that's 30. Well, actually, no, I can believe it's 30 years ago. It's just like, it's amazing how much like music we get like over the decades. But yeah, anyway, yeah, this reminds me of that sort of sound of songwriting that goes all the way back to like the 90s and such in J-pop, where the song structure, the key change in the chorus, the way that everything goes through the bridge, it's all very much predictable. But what I love about this is that not only do we have the fantastic vocal work of WASUTA, which just sounds so nice, even in a song like this where they're not overly pushing their voices, they sing in a way where their voices sound so complementary in the choral bits, but when they're singing individually, their voices are nice and distinct from each other, but all with their own character and all with their own strengths, which is what you want from an idol group, right? That's the whole point. And so you get that. But then on top of all of that is the fact that this, unlike... There were songs like this in the early 2000s, the 90s, but they just weren't quite as crisp as this. And so I have to give a lot of credit for the way that this is mixed. It's very light. There's not a lot of bottom end, but it's done just right. So, for example, when you get into that first verse, there's a little bit of you just kind of hear the beat tapping. And it's nice because, again, the kicks are not particularly heavy, but it's balanced right, that you get to like nod your head without feeling like you're getting too much of a whom in the bass, like just a big punch in the bass that you maybe don't necessarily need for a song like this. And I noticed that the actual bass notes coming from the bass guitar or bass synth on this, they were really the underpinning of everything. It was quite low, it was underneath everything, holding everything together, which kind of meant the bass sat calmly underneath everything, and everything else just like was allowed to go over the top, and all the other sounds were mixed quite high, quite bright, quite sharp, very colorful. And that's why the song managed to get so many things happening in the audio spectrum at the same time, whilst also sounding so effortless and so clear. I mean, just a simple thing for anyone who doesn't know, I'm sure it's probably obvious, but when you mix sounds in the lower frequencies where waveforms are longer, you can't get as many sounds in, but in the higher frequencies where they're sharper, you can get more individual sounds in because there's more wave information in per second. So yeah, when you mix songs quite high and bright like this, yes, they don't have the big heavy thumping impact of a rock song, but it means you can, if you're clever and you use that fact that it's more of a bright sounding song, you can add so much detail, so much color. And this is full of it. I love that. I love the fact that you, again, the piano, the guitars, the little synthesized like brass bits and strings going on in the background. It just feels like a song that's full of like joyous little sounds. And headed up by 4 women who dress up in those cat ears, but are 4 of the most incredibly well-matched, talented, and just pleasingly fun singers you can imagine. So yeah, this is a real joy. Quite different as well, I should point out, from their last 2 singles. Always worth mentioning this. They've had a couple of songs that have been a little bit more sort of like to pump your fist in the air recently, as a really upbeat kind of J-pop. This was a much more gentle song, and I think it worked. And also, I have to keep reminding myself, I came to this group through Sumani Nu, which was kind of a rocky song in a way. So yeah, incredibly charmed. What a pleasure. As always, WASUTA doing great things. Get in the comments, tell me what you think, and until I hopefully see you very soon in Japan for the next one of these. For now, ciao, ciao.